this. Let's talk to Anne May O'Neill, who's a Reform Councillor for Epping. Get some common sense back on the show. Annie May, very good morning to you.
Very good morning, Mike.
Nice to see you. Now, I'm not going to, I don't think, give anything away by saying that, are you not the model for the Reform football shirt?
Yes, I am. I have been all over Twitter, fortunately.
No, it's good, and it's going terribly well for Reform right now, not least in places like Epping, where you're getting a really, really great response from local people who are saying enough is enough. I mean, watch Keir Starmer there in his role as the sort of superannuated leader of Britain, boring the arse, frankly, out of everybody in Washington. Should he not be back here coming to Epping and seeing you guys and saying, this is what we're going to do about the migrant hotels?
Well, this is something that I've argued a lot for, and I think that we do live in a democratic state, and at the moment, Keir Starmer not responding to the outrage across the United Kingdom is very authoritarian of him. Yeah. The fact that he hasn't addressed it whatsoever shows that he is completely left-wing on the issue at all and isn't listening to concerned parents, and it's concerning that we voted him in the last general election to be our Prime Minister. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I spoke to colleagues of yours a couple of weeks ago, and mothers who were down making the demonstrations at the beginning, and I said, what do you want to say to Keir Starmer if you've got a message? And they said, we just want him to come down here. We want Yvette Cooper to come down and listen to us and look at what the problems are that we're facing. And I presume you've had nobody down there. You've had Robert Jenrick down there. You've had obviously Reform MPs down there as well. But you've had nobody from the government, right?
Well, Kemi Badenoch didn't attend the protest, but she did come to the town of Epping after 4 weeks after the incident, which I think absolutely shocking, causing that she's the opposing cabinet. However, I do find that this, like I said, we do not vote for 50,000 illegal migrants coming over past in the last general election. Yeah. And we've just got concerned parents, concerned families, and people are slating it to right wing, but it's really just, it's not right, it's not left, it's just safety and fear.
Right. And what's it like in Epping, like during the week when there's no protest going on? Do the people who live in the hotel come and go freely, or are they sort of not doing that anymore?
Well, so they used to. If you're aware of the layout, it's technically the hotel was about 100 yards away from the secondary school, about 150 yards away from a care home facility, and about a mile away from a primary school. And this is something that I do question. What was the government's planning behind this? I find that if they were looking at hotels to put asylum seekers in, why would they put one so close to a high street? And you're right, they did. Prior to the incidents, they would be sitting outside primary schools and secondary schools on benches at 3 p.m. And to me, that's scary. That's why we don't know who these men are. We don't know where they come from, and the cultures that they grow up in are completely different to Western culture in today's society. So like I said, again, it's not right, it's not left, it's just concern. Yeah, absolutely right. And I think this week there's a big court case coming up, isn't there, where the local council have tried to stop the government from keeping these migrants in the hotel, which is it's quite an important court case. I think it's coming up either tomorrow or the day after, and a judge may well rule that they have to shut it down. Well, I think that's brilliant. I think that will show parents that their voices have been heard, and that across the country, it was starting off with Epping that led to mass protests across London and up north. And I believe that as soon as this injunction will be heard, this will then show that the public that they have been listened to. And again, we do not live in an authoritarian state. Yeah.
And you're a councillor in Epping. I presume you've been there since the last election. How have you found that transition from what were you doing before?
So I actually am a law student. I'm studying to become a lawyer, and I'm only young, and I work and take my free time out as a town councillor, and I find that this is a way that I can connect with the community. And working for Ongar, Chipping Ongar's my ward, but Epping Forest the whole, there's such a lovely, calm village community, and it's so terrible to see this outroar, especially the protests on the 17th of July. That was just completely out of the aspect for Epping as a whole. So yeah, it's amazing to represent the community, and it's doing something that I love. So yeah.
Have you been surprised at anything that you found inside working inside as a councillor?
Well, I think with Reform and town councillors as a whole, we don't really do much to do with district councils or county councils. But something I do find is the lack of patriotism in the council alone. The fact that we haven't really got lots of United Kingdom flags up. And I think we've seen a news story today that Keir Starmer's finally said something about them allowing to put up the St George's flag. The whole allowing situation is just barbaric to me. The St George's and the Union Jack should be portrayed everywhere. This is the United Kingdom. This is what our grandfathers fought for, freedom.
And do you feel as though there is a kind of surge of nationalism going on at the moment?
Oh, 100%. I do find that it has to be inclusive. Everything has to be inclusive at the moment to absolutely everyone. And when people actually start to backtrack and say, actually, we are patriotic to live in the country, like I said, that our grandfathers fought in, it seems like you're racist or you're completely far right. I mean, at one point, Keir Starmer was saying that far right men who are patriotic were seen as terrorists. I remember that in the news a couple of months ago. So it's seen that as soon as you do act patriotic, as many countries do, as we see with the United States of America and places like France, it's seen as racist, and I think that's completely barbaric.
Yeah, absolutely. And as far as the next protest is concerned, is there another one coming this weekend?
I believe there's one coming on Thursday, and then there should be one again on Sunday. They're local and they are so peaceful. I attended the one on Sunday with Robert Jenrick, and I've seen that it's just families, just mothers, fathers, children are there, there's music playing. It's just seemed to hopefully get their voices heard, and hopefully today with the injunction from the High Court we will be able to see what actually occurs with the hotel. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, Annie May, good to talk to you. Thank you very much indeed. Annie May O'Neill, Reform Councillor for Epping. She's got a lot ahead of her in terms of what she's going to be doing in politics, I suspect.